I love my Mustang, but I'm not quite so fond of these dopey wheel nuts that they put onto the things. The same wheel nut is fitted to the Ford Ranger, Everest, F150 and potentially many other Fords as well. The problem is that Ford, in their wisdom and tight arsery, decided that they wanted to have a nice shiny little wheel nut. So what they've done is put an aluminium cap over the top of the steel nut. If everyone did what Ford specified, used hand tools, no impact guns, didn't over-torque them, everything would be fine. But unfortunately, that's not the case. When you bring your car into a tyre shop for a new set of tyres, or even to a Ford dealer for rotating the tyres, they're going to use impact guns and they over-torque, belt the shit out of these poor little things, and they actually swell up to the point where you can't get a wheel brace onto the nut, which is where it becomes a real embuggerance and potentially dangerous. If you imagine you're in a Ranger, up in Kakadu on the side of the road, flat tyre, should be easy to fix it, but you can't get your wheel brace onto these stupid bloody things. Anyway, in this short video, I'm going to show you 3 methods, 2 of them fairly violent, to get rid of these things and do the sensible thing, which is put on an aftermarket set of wheel nuts. Here are some examples of wheel nuts that I've taken off this vehicle before, and hopefully you can see that they're really quite battered, they're misshapen, they're scratched, they're a real mess. This one here, you can even hear the aluminium cap moving on top of the wheel nut. In fact, the worst that I've seen of this was on a 2016 Ranger, where the whole set of wheel nuts was so badly damaged that the cap would actually just spin. It would just freewheel on top of the nut. Totally useless. So the problem is, well, the main problem is with the 21mm socket, which is a specified size, it just won't fit on. Okay, so here's semi-violent method number 1. This is the 21mm socket. If I try a 22, it's just too large. So I'm just going to try to belt that on. In this case, the wheel nut's not too badly damaged. So, success. Only tool required, a hammer. That's a bit tight. Success. So the whole point of this exercise was to get rid of the original Ford wheel nuts and put on something decent. So this is a set of aftermarket nuts, steel nuts. You can also get these in chrome. I just picked these up from Custom Mustangs in Melbourne. They cost $100 and they're a spline version, so it comes with its own socket. Look, wheel nuts, pretty important things, not the sort of part I'd be buying off eBay, so certainly recommend you go to a reputable dealer. Okay, here's method 2, the non-violent method. So a while ago when I first encountered this problem, I went to a great deal of trouble to get a socket that would actually fit. Turns out there are aftermarket sockets made exactly for this purpose. It's a 21.5mm socket. This one I bought directly from the US. The brand is CTA, and I think it was about $35 or so. In retrospect, it was a waste of money because it's unnecessary. I really should have just changed these wheel nuts in the first place rather than trying to retain them. So this is a pretty easy fit, what I've got left here. So at the time I still did have to give it a little bit of a tap onto some of the wheel nuts, but it's a clever setup. It's 21 on one side and 21.5 on the other, and the drive is actually, whether I can align that properly, you can actually see that, so it just sits on, and there we go. 2 from 2. Okay, for the third and final method, hopefully you would have a small cold chisel or something to do this. I don't have one on me at the moment. I just have a screwdriver. Fortunately, it's not that hard on the tools. So just take the middle of the nut, give it a few swift whacks, And hey, look at that, you just pierce, to be careful with my wheel here, but you can see that just pierces the aluminium cap and making a bit of a mess of this. Just trying to protect my wheel. And okay, so I've just grabbed a bit of a longer screwdriver so I can just get a bit of an angle on the nut without whacking the wheel. Give it a few hits there. And we're up to the edge. See if you can just wedge your little screwdriver in here. Okay, success. So what I've done is just peel the aluminium cap away from the wheel nut. This will take just a little bit more coaxing to get it completely opened up. While I tie myself up in knots here. Okay. Okay. I think we're making some progress now. And there it is. What a mess. So the wheel nut, the steel nut underneath, is quite intact. Fortunately, I don't appear to have done any damage to the wheel there. Okay, let's see if we can remove the remnants of this nut. And the answer is yes. That's before and that's after. Thank you to the nuffers at Ford for that design. Yeah, it's given me a bit of heartache. So that's it, job done. I hope you enjoyed the video and found something useful in there. Incidentally, 4 out of 4 of my lock nuts were finger tight on the vehicle after having it serviced, which is pretty frightening. So all the best, safe driving.